2 or 3 days after I told you and Carl about my brother's jacket, this person came from the landfill and gave it back.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he told you about the jacket.
What?
I didn't want to tell you because I wanted him to tell you.
Oh my god. What? That's a miracle.
Yeah, he was bawling like a baby when he told me about it earlier, and I said, I'm not going to tell her, you tell her.
Elected officials in the United States have been responding to the wave of homelessness by using militarized police forces to evict homeless people from camps where they are simply trying to survive. These evictions often lead to tragic situations like what happened to this man, where he lost the only thing he had to remember his brother by.
My big brother, he was Army Ranger. He had there's 4 jackets that he had custom made by a guy named Freddie Corbin, who makes clothing. He designs clothing for a brand called Huff. They all had the same patch on the back embroidered into it, which is it's a skull with a beret on it. And it has a lit cigarette hanging out of its jaws. And on the bottom, it has like a rocker, like a motorcycle club's vest would have, like a cut. And it says Hell Riders, which is what his 4-man unit was called. And it's very sentimental and very precious to me because it's the one thing I have left from him to remember him by, basically, because he committed suicide when he came back from his 4th tour in Iraq after doing 1 tour in Afghanistan and 4 tours in Iraq, re-enlisting to do so. And it was, he meant a lot to me. He was my idol growing up. And the jacket was in the stuff that they bulldozed because they didn't give us very much time to grab all of our stuff that we needed. And I was busy grabbing the things that we needed to stay alive,
survive.
basically. And I just totally forgot about it. Well, is Barbara here and Carl did a little small interview with me.
We just
it.
happened to run into you. We were there to film the fire at the murals, and we
Yeah.
happened to run into you, and I hadn't caught up with you since you had gotten abated.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to you about it.
And let you know that it's lost that jacket. And then about 2 or 3 days, maybe 4 at the most, after I just told you about that and everything. This person came from his waste management landfill and everything, and came to where we were at the murals, and has returned my jacket to me.
When people are homeless, they literally only have the bare minimum things they need to survive. They try to collect with them the smallest essential things that they need to be able to survive in what little material possessions that they have. When police officers go through and tear apart their communities and tear apart their tents and destroy all their things and throw that in the trash, they're quite literally throwing away the bare essentials that people have tried to scrape together to simply survive. This story came from an activist who was filming what she saw in her town. But the truth is that this is happening all over the country. It just might not be documented there. We are reaching a crisis, and literally in the next few months, millions of people potentially face homelessness once the eviction moratorium expires. As millions of people potentially face homelessness, millions of people potentially face being in the same situation as this man, although unfortunately, they are not likely to be as lucky. He was lucky that a garbage worker happened to see his brother's jacket at the dump and bring it back to him. But not everybody can count on that type of extraordinary generosity and kindness. What we are trying to count on is the government to step in, for elected officials to step in and actually do something. Instead of trying to cancel rent, instead of trying to build housing cooperatives or actually solve the problem we are dealing with, to deal with the real estate investors, with the financial investment firms coming in, scooping up real estate, they are instead choosing to simply delay what will be inevitably tragic. We must all do our part to put pressure on elected officials to make sure that people are actually housed. And I'm not talking about homeless shelters. I am talking about real, permanent housing so that people have the stability that they need. But the only way that people can step up to fix it is if people actually see what's going on and if people take action to mobilize political movements to actually change things. So if you walk away from this video with one thing, I want you to ask yourself, do you know who your city council members are? And do you know if they support evicting homeless people from their tents? This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with my content. You can also catch me on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with my show Galaxy Brain.